add it later.
We'll figure it. Okay. This is February 26th. It is 6 p.m. This is the Southborough Library Board of Trustees monthly meeting. Come to order. For Mariana, we have a full complement of trustees here. So Amy Astani has a hard stop at 7 or 7-ish. So I would like to suggest that we move two agenda items further around on the agenda. I'd like to put the approval of the minutes last on the agenda for this meeting because Amy said she was okay on not voting on that. And two items which I'd like to deal with before Amy leaves is Staff Appreciation Week and Candidates Night. So if maybe we could do a director's report, an expense report, and then those two items, if that's okay with everybody, just so that we have a full complement of trustees to discuss those. Is that all right with everybody?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay, all righty. So let's start with the director's report, Ryan.
Okay. Uh, well, I won't bury the lead. For anybody who read it, there was an issue with the elevator on Friday after we had a magician for the vacation week program. So there was a mother and her two children got stuck on the ground floor. We were not able to get the elevator open. It looked like the buttons were illuminated on both floors. So we called John. We told him it was an emergency situation, and then we immediately got in touch with the fire department. I think about half of the on-duty officers showed up at the library a few minutes later. So we had about 7 firefighters, I think was what I counted. Um, they were, once Bob Esposito let them into the mechanical room for the elevator, I don't know what they pressed, but immediately the door opened. So I think what happened was they were in the elevator for probably a total of 10 minutes, which if you're stuck in an elevator, it's still, I don't want to minimize it. That's a long 10 minutes, especially with 2 very small children. The husband of the family, right? The husband father, he was outside the elevator. So he was talking to his wife while we were communicating with her. So Kim and I kind of took turns. Either Kim was talking to the mother and the kids, and then we switched so that she could go on the phone. So we did check the elevator. We also had the elevator vendor come out that afternoon because John called them the minute we had a problem, and they were able to get on site within, I think, a half an hour. So then we did close the elevator for about an hour after it happened, and then we were able to reopen the elevator Friday afternoon. So I think it was back in service by 1:30. So far, we have had no additional issues with the elevator. So
Were the little kiddos okay?
yes. So I will say that I did make an executive decision, and we did give them some emergency library swag bags. So they got a Southwell Library tote bag, they got a blanket, and they got headphones.
Beautiful.
Because I had some extras of those. So
They
the
hope I get
mother,
stuck in the elevator.
yeah, yeah. So the husband, the wife, and the 2 kids all got a bag. And the mother said I didn't have to do that. And I said, absolutely, I do. So we wanted to make sure that they had a positive experience. Kim knows the family really well. So, I did say if they needed to follow up or they had any questions to contact us, but I think they understood how seriously we took it, and then, how sort of mortified we were. So
And question
Is
of
this
it
the
had
first
been
time any of us have encountered this?
it had possibly been overloaded before that though, right?
So I did talk to Bob a little bit about that. What happened was I saw at least 2 strollers and multiple kids go in the elevator the trip before that. And I think that there may have, because there is a weight capacity on the elevator, but it isn't posted. So Bob was going to follow up with the elevator vendor on that. And we used to limit the capacity during COVID, but we took all the COVID signs down. So it used to say limit 1 person per elevator, which, to be honest, in practice didn't make any sense, because if a a parent was bringing a kid up or down, or they were doing a stroller, there has to be multiple people in the elevator, right? But I think we might put like limit of 4 people or something.
Or whatever the
Um,
actual weight limit is. I mean, you see that posted
yeah.
lots of times. Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't know, Janet. I can tell you that we did have a patron who reported that the elevator door was especially squeaky earlier that week, which sounds kind of innocuous, but that was something that the vendor noticed right away, and they were able to correct the issue with the door. But I think what happened was that there was like a weight balance distribution thing, and it had just been slightly put off from the trip before, and that was kind of what jammed it. But to be honest, I talked with the vendor, I talked with Bob. We couldn't determine a cause of why it did that. So we just want to keep an eye on the elevator. And then I will tell you, none of the staff are really super excited about riding in it at all right.
Is it considered an old elevator, Ryan?
It was, it got installed in the 89 edition, so it is, that old, but it does get inspected every year, and we do work repeatedly with a vendor. I mean, we've had issues with it before, because if you remember when we had the water in the building, a
Yep.
lot of the water collected at the bottom of the elevator, and we weren't initially aware of that. So, I would just say, again, if we're looking long-term at construction, or we're looking at, building deficiencies or things that could be improved, I think the elevator just got put in the top 5,
Hmm.
in my opinion,
Mhm.
because we don't ever want this to happen again, especially with small children, which is, what happened.
The other thing about that elevator, it is too small for the dollies that carry the chairs. If
Oh.
we ever get a new elevator, I hope we get a bigger one.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, we did move the grow light because it's the season where we're about to start the seed exchange. So I was able to successfully transport that, and I did actually go up in the elevator with that. I think that was the only time I rode the elevator today, but it didn't jam. So I can tell you I'm a success story.
Mhm.
okay, anything else in the director's report?
Oh, it's kind of a big thing, and this kind of goes into expenses as well. So if you guys read, there's a very long paragraph about the copy machine.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we kind of never talked about when I came to you and asked for the state aid money to purchase the copy machine was what to do with money that the copy machine made. Initially, we talked a lot with Brian because we were going to enable credit cards, which was automatically going to charge the library $50 a month. So really what would have happened was we would have been paying for the credit card contraption. And I think back then when we first were working this out, the copy machine was going to cost money, not make money, right? So now, because credit cards we never got that off the ground, like it can't take credit cards still at all. So it's a cash only machine. So a couple weeks ago, the staff started telling me that patrons were complaining that they couldn't use dollar bills or $5 bills in the machine. And so come to find out, we had never actually opened up the Jamex money machine to see how much money was in it. So when I tell you literally dollar bills were bursting out of it, that was the situation. Because if you remember, I think we bought the machine in 2021 or 2020. So it's been about 3 years. We counted all of the money. There was about $300 in the machine. So we kept some of it in the machine. We took some of it out. It's in a locked cash box right now. But part of the discussion is now what to do with this. We can turn it into the town as a cash deposit as part of the general fund. So that's option A. But I have had initial discussions with our friends group, and we right now pay a service contract on the machine. That was part of our agreement. and every quarter they charge us about $8.44. We're not using a lot of the copy machine resources, so that's kind of like the baseline amount that we have to pay. So really it's per quarter, it's under $40 a year right now, right? It's like closer to like 35, 36 and some change. The friends, were they to take over the revenue, would also pay the service contract. And to be honest, I think there's some synergy with having the friends take this over, if the board would entertain that, because the only cash we're really dealing with on a regular basis now is from the everyday book sale, when people buy the donations downstairs. Because we went fine free, we are turning in, and Kim and I actually sat down and like looked at how many cash deposits we've done this year. It's been about 4 for this fiscal year. So we're averaging one about every 2 months. So again, I know $300 sounds like a lot of money, but it's after several years of us not tracking the amount of money that was in the machine. Also having the friends are I think have also, they remember when they could make free copies from the machine, right? When they were doing in-person meetings. So were they to take over the revenue, they could literally put in a dollar bill, make the copy, and then unlock it and take the dollar bill out. So they'll still do this in coordination with me, but the idea is that if there was like a book sale and we needed to do some on-demand printing, the friends could use the copy machine in order to achieve that. So, you know, the copy machine is still something that I think both groups have to work together on, because the trustees were the ones that authorized the initial purchase. But as far as the sort of revenue service contract deal, my recommendation is to have the friends take it over. It would also be helpful, and the treasurer has suggested this, if the library ran out of money in a particular fiscal year for paper, that we could go to the friends and talk to them about that. And that makes more sense to make that request now, because the copy machine will be part of what they help out with.
Mhm. You're muted.
All makes perfect sense.
Have you talked to, the friends are okay with this?
So I've talked with half the executive board at this point, and they're sort of the long-term members. So I've talked with the president and the treasurer, who I feel like are the two top people to kind of talk to first.
All right.
I'm not anticipating there would be resistance from the friends, but really the next step is to have you guys be okay with this. If the friends end up not being okay with this as a group, I will come back and report on that in March.
Okay, I'm fine with it. Does anyone else have any thoughts? It
This
seems like-
this is the smallest dollar amount issue we've ever discussed, and I think it's fine.
Yep, I agree. Makes sense.
How much is
Okay.
the revenue that the copier brings in? Did I miss that part?
It was
Yes.
$300
Like it's
over 3
$100
years.
a year.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that's
Okay.
the average now. I think it's about $100 a year so far.
It
Okay.
sounds like a good arrangement to me, right? Do we need to vote on this, or can we just say sense of the meeting is?
I would, but I think Jane was trying to say something and she's muted right now.
Mm.
So I don't know if yeah, I'm gonna ask you to unmute, Jane. That's okay?
Jane, you're muted. There you go.
Idea. I think we should do it. Let the
Okay.
friends, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I wanted you to be heard, you know?
Okay, so then I'll move then that we should transfer, we are okay on the transfer of any cash receipts from the copy machine in the future to the friends.
I'll second.
All right, Landry in favor?
Scott Davis in favor.
Maybe in favor.
Ekberg in favor.
Regan in favor.
Yes, Donnie in favor, and yes, Donnie seconded, if that helps, who's ever taking notes.
Okay, thank you, Amy. All right, so it looks like good. Thank you. That looks like one good solution there. What else in the director's report do we need to look at, Brian?
Just the projector thing was a notification. I want to let you know that the projector has been cataloged at this point, but we need to develop the separate agreement, and we're gonna use the telescope agreement as a template. But the idea is that if somebody takes out the telescope and either doesn't return it or damages it, that there will be a replacement cost of $400. So we're going to make people sign a separate agreement. We do that with the telescope now because the replacement cost is $375. So to me, that's pretty similar. So I just wanted to let you know, but we are getting requests, I would say, more often now for people who are looking for some sort of projector. And a lot of them are local groups who just need to use it for like an afternoon or a day, but there have been repeated issues with the senior center projector. And the idea is that if we have a loanable one, we'll get circulation statistics for it. And then we have a backup in case a bulb goes out or we need additional projector too. So it's just a logistic thing. I wanted to let you know because we haven't added a more than books item in a while, I think since the hotspots. So this is, a new addition and we'll have to update everything for that.
Good. Anything else?
The DPW thing was pretty quick. I think the Hassan thing was pretty quick. I did want to let you guys know that the legislative breakfasts are coming up. I believe David and I, and maybe Amy might be going to the Medway one. So if anybody would like to join us, just let us know. I would say there is kind of another big one, which is a discussion came up because Kim is unable to work the day that town meeting is occurring. And this actually led to a longer discussion about how some of the library staff who live in town are not going to be able to attend the town meeting because they'll be working at the same time. And for some of this, it was easier to coordinate when the town meeting started at like noon, right? Or like, I think it was 1 in the afternoon, is that people could work in the morning and then come in the afternoon. But it starts at 10, which is actually when the library is opening that day. So I think I'd like to recommend at this point, because I've looked at switching staff members around so that non-resident staff members will work the town meeting day. And then try to have all the residents work the day before. But to be honest, I can't kind of find a staffing solution for this. And obviously I need to be at the town meeting that day because to handle all the library items. So I've asked other towns what they do, other library directors, and some close the library on the day that the town meeting is occurring. And I think that this is something maybe we should think about doing. I think my recommendation is to do it at this point after talking to all the staff. And I don't know if you have any concerns about this. I mean, this might be something that we talk about doing in the future, to be quite frank. So
Right, Ryan, it makes sense. I hope all of us agree that that makes sense. So just do it.
Yeah,
I
Okay.
agree.
Yep.
I think having some publicity and a sign on the door that says because of the
Town
town
meeting.
meeting, so maybe it would encourage a couple more people to go.
yes, so you're exactly right, Janet. I think we'd have a big sign on both of the doors saying that the library is closed today due to annual town meeting.
Which is
Please,
located at blah, blah, blah,
yeah, with the location.
Yes, we have a
and
big
everything.
ticket item, right, yes.
And that's not, to be honest, I know that it seems self-serving because the library has an item this year, but I think I kind of have thought about asking you guys about this in the past. And really, it just happens that the town meeting is starting at exactly the same time the library is opening. Like there have been, no one goes to programs on the day of town meeting. Attendance is pretty limited at the librry because people are usually at town meeting anyway.
or
And I just
hiding
think,
out so that nobody sees that they're not at town meeting. Right?
yeah.
Oh,
So
don't do
I
that.
just,
Well, I think
Um,
it's a great idea.
I
okay,
think it's fine. I think you should do that.
Yep,
okay.
And the sign, Janet.
Do you need a
yes,
vote?
Well, so how we've left it in the past is that I can make the decision, but I feel like I need your feedback if we go this route, so.
okay,
We need a-
I make a
we need a
motion that,
vote.
okay, go ahead, do you want to make a motion? David?
I make a motion that we follow the good advice of our fearless leader, Ryan Donovan, and close on the day of the town meeting.
Second.
If the- what- Let's vote, Marguerite.
All right, Landry, aye.
Davis, I.
Ekberg, aye.
Maybe I,
Did we get Kim?
I think I said it at the same time as Janet.
Oh, all right. Well, there we are. So
great
everybody.
minds. Right.
Yes. Okay. Yes, there you are. All right. Good. That is
But
Yeah,
excellent.
can I just make one comment? I think you should publicize before
Yeah,
the day on
Yeah.
your website and, maybe a little sign at the circulation desk, just saying, so you know, and the people who come through there, as well as one on the door the day of, so people
yeah,
are not
Yes,
surprised.
yeah.
Put it
And
up on the website. Good point.
we're gonna distribute that as part of the newsletter as well. So people are aware the Monday before it occurs that they can kind of plan on it. And
Yeah.
just for the people who are watching and for your own edification as trustees, staff that would have worked that Saturday will have the option to move over to the Friday. So like Libby's an example. Libby was scheduled for Saturday. She will just work on Friday now because she's a full-time staff member. And then we will give part-timers who had hours that day options to work throughout the week as well. So I'll try to make it so that nobody like loses shifts, if that makes sense.
Yes.
That they'll,
Yeah,
you know,
that's good.
Yep.
It sounds
Oh.
great.
and then just that the Peggy Tuttle Award nominations are open. So that's, I know I was a little late putting that together this week. Usually it closes in early March, but I extended it because I'm so late putting everything up. So just if there's somebody you'd like to nominate, feel free to take advantage of the online form or the physical one. And they're posted throughout the library now.
Thank you. That's great. Anything in the expense report or other items in the director's report?
No, I'm happy to answer any questions about both. The expenses are going, we had a big order come in today for travel books and some graphic novels. So you'll see those reflected on the next payable batch. But spending is going pretty good.
Mhm.
Good. All right. We did the copy machine. How about if we talk now about Staff Appreciation Week?
Yeah.
When is this?
Okay, sure. So Ryan and I are going back and forth on this issue. When are you in Chicago, or I mean, Ohio, Ryan? Columbus?
I leave on April 2nd, and then I
Okay.
come back on Saturday, April 6th.
Okay, so if we do it the week of Library Staff Appreciation Week, we should be fine, correct?
Which is
Which
which week?
What?
April 8th through the whatever that week.
Mhm.
And you thought, I think we discussed, remind me, Ryan, that there possibly candidates night could be on the 10th. Is that
The what?
what your concern was?
No, so I think where candidates night tentatively is, not to jump agenda items, but right now it's April 24th is the
Oh, so no
projected
worries.
date. Yeah,
So if we do it the 10th, it won't affect you or Kim, correct?
correct. Kim
Okay.
Kim
Wait, can we just
Ivers,
go back? Amy, you're
Yeah.
cutting it in and out. When
I'm
is
sorry.
it?
Is this better?
Well, now Jane's going in and out.
I think
Here.
Jane's frozen on
When
mine.
is Appreciation Week?
So we could
This-
April
just-
7th.
You're,
Yeah, April 8th through the, 12th?
Okay, does that
the
work for
7th is a
everybody?
Sunday,
What,
so the 8th,
The 8th is Monday.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, the
of
8th,
April. Of April.
Right.
yes.
Okay, is there any reason not to do it then?
I don't think
Okay.
so.
Sounds good. All right, that sounds excellent. Okay, so that'll be the way, and candidates night is the 24th.
Tentatively, I'm
Tentatively.
saying that because every time we set a candidates night date, we then get candidates who can't do it on that date. So the 24th right now is the tentative date for candidates night.
Okay,
So
okay.
is Betsy up and doing candidates night this year?
Betsy is not.
So if
Betsy-
we've done,
What?
are we done with depreciation?
Yes,
Well, everybody just happy to keep their same thing, same jobs?
yep.
Yeah,
Well, we
And
We did
talked
different
about,
things last year than the year before, so which same jobs?
I thought you stayed the same.
No,
Didn't you? What'd you do, Janet? I thought you did breakfast last year.
Jane and I did breakfast, the Monday morning breakfast the first year, and then
Okay,
did we do another breakfast? But it was a different
Yeah, we
day.
did.
yeah,
But I think it
It
was
was a
like
different
Wednesday
day,
or
but we
something.
did
that's fine.
breakfast.
I think we're gonna do Tuesday through Friday, Ryan and I talked about, so it would really be the 9th, but if it affects any of your schedules, that will give us a little room for play, and I'll leave it up. I'll talk with Ryan. We'll decide what would be best on which days, because it depends when staff are there and when they have a late night and things like that.
Well,
So we can,
that's true. Well,
we
let
can
us know.
get
Yep,
everybody.
I'm flexible.
Okay.
I can do
Okay.
whatever. So
Awesome. So that's the
Mhm.
plan, and thank you all for your help. And Mary said she'd help me if she gets elected to whoever replaces Kim is going to help me, I think. But
Kim has hard shoes to fill. I'll tell you, that's going to be rough. But anyway,
that's
okay.
what I said. There will be no
Okay.
filling, but
Yeah,
anyway.
really. So staff appreciation is the 8th. All right. So there'll be some kind of a list that goes around
Yeah,
giving
I'll
a
send it.
day and a whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sounds
Awesome.
great.
And
Sounds
we're going to
great.
invite the friends to help again. And I talked to Ryan about putting up that board, possibly, that everybody could put their, love for the
Oh, the
staff on, which I
appreciation.
thought they
Yeah,
did
that
really.
was really
Yeah, that was
nice.
cute.
That
Yeah.
was good. And there were flowers that happened, which
Yep.
was also lovely, which was
So
very
big
beautiful.
staff said, keep it the same, keep it simple. They liked it. Don't change anything. So that's what we're going to do.
Sounds great. Yes, that was very, very pleasant. And it went on for a whole 5 days, which was even
Yes, which is nice.
yeah.
Wait, but you're
Right.
saying we're
Brian,
starting
you
on the
think the staff-
9th, not the 8th?
Well,
Is
we'll
that what you
see. I
said?
mean, if any of you tell me that one day doesn't work for you, that way we give about 4 days worth of stuff over 5 days is how, what, Jane, does that make sense?
Kind of. What do
Well,
you?
the
I thought you-
refrigerator tends to fill up with ice cream and things
Yeah.
like that as the week goes on. But
I want Ryan to be able to look at his staffing so that we provide, so everybody kind of has the ability to get stuff. I'll let you know way before. I'll talk
Oh,
to
yeah.
Ryan
Okay.
this week.
that sounds
Yeah.
good. Well, we're 2 weeks. We're almost 2 months out. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I think it has always worked pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
yeah, it's been great. I love doing it over a week. It's really pleasant. Okay, so the other thing that's a little bit more sticky is candidates night, because Betsy can't do it. She's still dealing with her health situation. So here we are. The 24th is the tentative night. Oh, that's a
Okay, so
tough
have
one.
you've spoken with her, Marguerite?
No, but I know we were doing Qigong and she couldn't come to Qigong because of her health for the last couple of
Okay.
weeks, and she's kind of chilling out. I will call her and talk to her, but I don't think.
Yeah, so
Can you tell
so-
us what the issue is, or none of our
Well, I
business?
don't think we should discuss anybody's health issue.
Okay,
Stephen, if
fair
that's
enough,
okay.
fair enough.
Yeah, so what
Fair enough.
I think we should do, if it's okay. Oh, Jane?
Is it going to be at the senior center or at the library?
So I think for all the reasons we stated last year, we should look at doing Corderville again. So at the
Yep.
senior center.
Mhm.
Okay.
So first off, I haven't booked the space, so I have to see if it's available. So this is the other reason why it's tentative. Marguerite and I have not talked to Betsy, so I would like to do that before we kind of proceed. But
Okay.
I mean, you're asking Janet, and I know Marguerite and I kind of said if Betsy's unavailable to do it, I think it worked really well with you as the MC last.
I'm willing to, unless someone else wants a turn.
No, I
Okay.
think you'd be great.
Does
I
everybody
think
take
you
4
did a
steps
good
back?
job.
You have composure. You have great composure. That's what
I
we need.
I will say that I have talked with the school committee candidates a little bit, who sometimes can't attend because they meet on Wednesdays. So we may end up having it on the 25th if the school committee candidates want to come. So I want to just point that out, because I think in the past we were doing it on Wednesdays and they always felt excluded. And I don't want that to occur again if we can avoid it.
It partially depends on whether it's contested, I guess, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
So far,
well,
there's only one
being-
contested race in
Yeah,
Southborough.
there may be a planning board race, is my
Sorry.
understanding, but I don't think, again, it's still very preliminary before we know what races are gonna be, because people can pull papers and they don't,
Yeah.
there's still time to pull papers now for any
Yeah.
race. We do like to invite the candidates, even if they're not in contested races. So it'd be nice if the school committee candidates could attend. But again, I think there's always going to be somebody who's upset about the date and the time it is. So we got to proceed with what we can do. And I don't know when Corderville will be available.
Yeah,
So
see
that's
what
going to,
Pam has available. Yeah.
we actually book it with Sue Wood, Marguerite, because
Oh,
it's
really?
after the dinner closes.
Oh, because it's
Yeah.
after senior center. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
because it's
Okay.
the evening. Yeah.
Got it.
So it's
Okay.
with facilities.
Learn
Yeah.
something every day here. All right.
Yeah. So and then, I'll invite all of you to attend if you can. I did want to let you know that I have applied again for Wegmans to provide the funding. But we used to get the gift card to support this at the Natick store. For anybody who's following, the Natick store has closed. So we've requested to see if we could get it through the Northborough store. And I think the Northborough store does a fair amount of community giving. So I don't know if they're going to go for it. But I asked and I've put in the application.
The
So-
worst case,
Okay.
we'll take it out of the fund. I mean, it's not that much. It's a
Yeah,
couple.
Marguerite,
and again-
Marguerite, you and I will go over to Northborough and we'll just scoop up all the good stuff. Okay?
Yes.
And
Sorry, yes.
I'd like to talk to the friends, because it's early days in this too, to see if they would like to be involved or would consider donating funds if we don't get the Wegmans money. So, I
It was
think
like $100, right? I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's hardly worth the,
Yeah.
yeah. We can scoop it out of the fund. The fund is doing fine.
But I think it would also be good if there was visibility for the friends a little bit, so that they could meet with people and interface. So I don't know. It's, again, I want them to be involved if they'd like to be involved, if that makes sense. Because I think they're a group that we should be trying to find event synergy with, if that makes
Agreed,
sense.
agreed.
Okay.
Okay, so candidates night to be continued. You'll check out with Sue Wood and see if that's an available time. Blah, blah, blah. How about the library director evaluation? I think we can move that forward because we've got a while until that's due, correct?
Yeah, I just I wanted to get this on the radar because there's only so many meetings that we have to do. And this is more of a notice to myself to put together my self-evaluation for this year, to hopefully send it to you by the March meeting, so that you have sufficient time to review it, so that you can start deciding how you want to proceed with doing it. I think, the past couple years, I think evaluations have been kind of conducted individually and sent in to the chair.
Yep.
So that might be the way you want to do it again this year, but it's up to you to decide. I want to put this on your radar so that it doesn't get lost in the shuffle.
It's going to be mostly goals will be having to do with the construction, we hope, assuming that town meeting moves forward as we hope it does. And on that
And
note,
and that we get a successful grant award from the
yes,
state.
on that note, let us talk about town meeting right now. What are your thoughts on that?
I sent you guys a preliminary draft of the presentation. I will say the presentation notes were not finalized in that, but you can see that we updated the statistics, and I did put together kind of a best of photo, best of photos of last year, and we used some of that for the annual report. So we pulled from that photo set for the annual update too. It doesn't announce the Peggy Tuttle Award winner because we don't have one yet, because we just opened up the nominations. So I don't know if it's going to be separate. It's typically part of the Article 1 presentation. So I want to talk to the moderator, because I was a little confused about how things went last year. So I'm hoping I can get that a little bit clarified ahead of time. And then I think we might do a handout again. And I know Mariana was involved in that last year, and so was Kim Regan. So I'd like to ask both of them if it's okay with the rest of the board to kind of this like staff appreciation. Like I thought it worked really well last year. I thought the handout was really good. So I'd like to see if they'd be willing to do that again.
Ryan, I have to say that your choice of photographs makes it, I think, a very powerful impression on the importance of the library. So nicely done, nicely done.
Lots of cute children crowded together on a rug.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
That was
Yeah,
really
in the past, that was, I think, Jane Smith's, who was the previous chair many years ago. That was her directive, was to make the like get lots of kids in big groups as much as possible. So I did kind of have that advice in my ear. I know the presentations need to be somewhat smaller, so that's why you didn't get a whole lot of slides. But I do think it worked well last year. I will say Kim contributed narrative elements for the summer reading. We also looked at the annual report, which people are going to be able to pick up and read at town meeting. And the presentation is very much a companion that talks about some of the data that we didn't get to include in the annual report. So like summer reading is mentioned in the presentation, but not really in the annual report, because we did a big thing on that the previous year. And then things, ongoing programs like the cookbook club that have been really successful again. We kind of talked about new initiatives in the annual report. So we wanted to talk about continuing things that are working really well. So it was kind of targeted what we talked about, if that made sense, because we don't want this to be like a rehash. Like we do so many things that we can have the annual report talk about some things and then have the presentation talk about the stuff we didn't get to. And I think an aim of the handout is going to be looking at meaningful statistics again that maybe we didn't get to cover in either of those. A little bit of a rehash, but I think we'll have some new stuff in there too.
good. It looks really good. Can I break in here with breaking news? I just texted Betsy and asked her if she wanted to host candidates night, and she texted back, yes, exclamation
Yeah.
point.
Good.
I'm
Oh,
in.
great.
So-
Wonderful.
So my understanding probably that she was going to want to do it, because I did speak to her late last year. But Janet, we'd still really like you to be involved and to help out with it. And then, we never know what could happen between now and then. So I think it's just,
Yeah,
If it
tell her
takes-
I'm more than happy to help her, whatever she needs, whatever.
okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's it so far for annual town meeting. I do have to do kind of a secondary presentation this year to present the warrant article for the construction. So that might be like really brief, but I want to get some of the salient points about the construction program together and then make that available for that article. And then I will be up there to answer any questions. I don't know, because I think I'll have the option, is that if one of the trustees wants to come up on stage with me while I'm presenting the article, and you don't have to decide that right now, but I think that might be an option. The only person who probably can't do it is Marguerite, because she will already be on stage as a select board member.
I won't be here since they moved it back. I'll still
Yeah.
be in Florida.
Oh, that's too bad. I was gonna say you'd be so good.
No, I'm invested in
But
it.
just think about it. If no one wants to go on stage, that's fine. And then if there is something you want to respond to and you're at the meeting, you'll be able to go to a mic and speak to it. So
David, you
Just
have a
think
very
about-
deep voice. I said you have a good town meeting voice. If you want to speak to that would work for
Well,
me.
I mean, I'm not opposed to doing it, but I think Ryan is our most formidable advocate, and I'm happy to negotiate back and forth with him if you'd like, but I will do whatever you think is most effective.
Well, you again, no decisions need to be made because I'll check in with you guys next month. But I mean, it's not that long until next month at this point, right? But if David, if you wanted to get up on stage with me and just look like very serious, like while I'm talking, that's
Well,
an option as well.
what would the second person be doing? Just,
Yeah,
So you could, if there's like, you know, I'm responding to a question and then you wanted to add to the answer, you could do that. But again, I don't want to put anybody on the spot. Like, just think about it if you'd like to do it. I don't want to say that it's lonely up there on that stage, but I can tell you that it was very helpful when we went for the CPA project to have our OPM and our project architect with us on stage. So it just strengthen numbers maybe, but also it's not a requirement. And if I'm up there by myself, I will do it. So
you need someone to hold your hand. No, I'm teasing you,
not
Ryan.
not literally, Amy,
I know.
but
That would be kind of interesting.
It would be very
I
interesting.
could do that.
Might give the wrong impression of
I
our
would do
fearless.
that.
Well, so Jane, why don't you do it, and David can do it, or anybody who feels everybody should do it, except Janet can't do it because she's going to be in the sunshine probably, and I can't do it because it's a conflict of something or other. But maybe three of you up there would be good.
yeah, I think we could have three. So if Jane and David wanted to come up, they could.
Okay, come on,
I'm
David.
happy to participate if you think it's helpful.
I think
Okay.
it'd be very nice.
Mhm.
And Kim, do you want to do it? I mean,
I would prefer not to.
I was gonna say,
somehow
it'd
I
be your
thought
swan
that.
song.
Somehow I thought that would be. I prefer not to. Yes, it's like
How
yes.
could you tell?
Okay, but maybe Jane and David, I think would be nice to be up there to say, here we're trustees, we've been doing it for a long time, and we really support this because it's not just the library doing that, but we've got a budget article that may run into problems. So we want to really make sure that we're showing everybody who we are and that we're sane, responsible residents of the town. You know, I'm hoping the library thing will go through, but you never know with town meeting. Somebody may hold it, and then then what? So I think it'd be great if you guys went up there and
Again, just think about it, and I'll check in
yeah.
when we meet again before the meeting, and just because again, I think I am kind of putting you guys a little bit on the spot, and I didn't mean to. I want you to know I do think it's good for visibility, like here's the director and here are some of the trustees. So, and we've been talking about this for a long time, and for some people, this is going to be hopefully not new information, but like kind of a clarification on what the next steps are going to be and what our plan is. So,
Well, we can
okay.
debate more on that. Okay, so our time is very good. It's only quarter of. How about Janet? Would you mind talking about the pollinator garden and the community center exploration committee? Those are your bailiwicks, I think.
What we're gonna do, the pollinator garden, it's just the whole process. Like we
Yeah.
had a meeting here we're trying to get a library-centered garden club going that would help with maintaining the garden, do weeding, all that kind of stuff, but
Yep.
also maybe capitalize on some of the educational possibilities there. So partially with that and partially just as part of the whole program, we hosted, Freddie and I hosted at the library planting
Winter,
session.
was it winter sow?
Winter sow, yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Just showing people how to take the jugs and plant everything, and we gave them all the supplies and we gave them seeds and all that kind of stuff. And that was like we had 20 people that had never come to anything else.
That's great.
So yeah, it is good. So that's rolling along. Freddie's doing a whole lot of seed distribution and stuff now. But we are trying to get people who'd be willing to take some responsibility for the garden so that it gets weeded regularly and all that kind of stuff. And any questions on that? And then the committee for exploring possibilities for a community center wrapped up We are done. We made a presentation to, yes. We made a presentation to the select board earlier in the month. And, it just talked about the different options and what, that the whole committee was behind using Finn School if it becomes available. The seniors are happy with that option. The rec commission's happy with that option. There's a lot of flexibility in use of the space, so, hopefully if we need to relocate all or part of the library functions for a period of time during construction, that would be available to us there. If we decided we wanted to have a little annex for some parts of our function, we could do that. There's also great indoor space there for programs in general. So I think all the groups felt like their needs were heard and incorporated into this. So it was a unanimous support for that plan. However, Finn may or may not become available. That's further down the road. So we've wrapped up what we could do at this point. At the next step, if Finn becomes available, would be putting together another committee that would get much more into the nitty gritty of design and options. But our work
So
is done.
what would determine whether Finn is available or not?
They're looking at the options of different schools. It's either like Neary has to get replaced. So either Neary adds a grade, and then Woodward possibly could add a grade. I haven't been following that committee, but they're looking at the whole grade configuration. Trotter currently has a lot of extra space. So it's whether or not we'd consolidate into Woodward, Neary, and Trotter with grade configurations that support that, or whether they would keep Finn as one of the options.
Wait, but you said you want to replace Neary. But you're saying you're going to use Neary.
Well, the location.
So
Oh.
there's currently a Neary feasibility committee, Jane,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
meeting on a regular basis. And I think the idea is that Neary would be renovated and potentially expanded.
Or
Um,
taken down and rebuilt totally, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
That would
there's
be
a
better, yeah.
yeah, so there's a couple different options that they're looking at, but this is a good, I'm hoping that Jason will give me a gold star for this one, but there are dates coming up on like sort of a Neary public forums. And I believe the dates were March 1st and March 4th on those. And one was supposed to be in the morning and one was supposed to be in the afternoon, but I think they've been moved to the evening now. But we are getting information about that and we're posting on the library's social media if people want to be involved. But those are some public meetings where you could go and provide input. And there will be information at this town meeting, I think, about some stuff with Neary. But Neary's the
thank
next
you.
step.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think Neary's the first step in the school process, and then they're gonna look at what gets done after that.
Okay.
Right,
Thank
so
you.
very much in flux. Okay, so that's good. Anything else we need to know, Janet, about, thank you for being our rep on the CCEC. That was above and
It was
beyond.
good. I mean, it was a good committee. So
Yep. Well.
I
just-
would like to say, if it's okay, just a big thank you to Janet, because I was not able to attend the select board meeting with her. And I would just say that I was able to tune in and watch it. And I think I went right on as they started doing the presentation. And Janet did an excellent job of representing the library at that meeting and participating. So it was a nice, I think, culmination in all of the time and energy and effort that Janet put into work on that committee. And
Yes.
I have to say thank you for that.
Yes,
I thought it was a great opportunity to let anybody who's watching the meeting and also the select board know about the building project and the steps involved, things that like we need the design money approved at town meeting, and that one of the requirements of the process is that we do investigate another location for the library. So getting, more of that information out there as often as we can is good. So I felt good about that.
I have to tell you, Janet, when you walked up to the podium for that meeting, someone said, "Oh, she's so nice."
Thank you. Was that Kathy?
So
No, it was not. I couldn't hear Kathy. She was telling.
We all
the-
agree.
Yes, we all agree.
the last update I got on the Neary Building Committee open public forums is that there will be one on Thursday, February 29th. So that's this Thursday from
Oh,
7 to 8:30. And then there will be a second one on Monday, March 11th, also from 7 to 8:30. Both of those will be at the Trottier Auditorium. And then I don't think you have to attend both. I think you can attend one or the other.
sounds good. Thank you for that pitch, which is excellent. Okay, Amy is off. Amy is gone. What other items do we have that we need to, the MBLC construction program, maybe?
Yeah, so that's a brief update, but I did, from the last meeting, I talked with Mark about the sample warrant language article, the warrant article language.
Language.
Thank you. You can tell how often I do this. So I was able to send that. I kind of, took in what they had as the example, and I provided that to Mark Purple, who was coordinating the article language with town council. So then there was, I think right now Marguerite looked at us and I saw us at Article 9 at one point, and Marguerite saw us at Article 11. So it is shifting in number. So we're not committing to a number, but we're early-ish in the town warrant articles. So it will be kind of in that range, like around the first 10. So the language that was put in there, I circled back with MBLC and had the library construction specialist look at it, and we got the okay. So it's okay to use that language. So we're good to go. So at this point, if it gets approved, and then we apply and we get the grant money, we've fulfilled that function. So that's we're on track right now is what I can tell you.
Good work, Ryan, really. That's a lot. That's a ton of work to get that.
And I will say, Marianne and Kim at this point have now contributed more to the construction application than I have. So one of the things I really need to do in the next couple weeks is spend some significant time working on that. But it's a priority. It's just there have been many things that have been getting in the way. So I need to kind of just take some days and I need to focus on that application because it's a big deal.
Yes, it totally is. Anyway, all right. So I think we've reached the point where we can finish with approve the minutes or accept the minutes. Do we have any corrections?
I have a
Nope.
couple really petty, typically Ekberg petty issues on the minutes on the lower paragraph, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is really petty. Contingent upon as opposed to pose. Contingent upon, and I have another.
Contingent as opposed to on?
Yes.
Oh,
Contingent upon. And my second one is equally pedantic. Where is it here? On the second page and the fifth line down, the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Contingent upon the library is accepted. And then just a question mark on
contingent upon the library being accepted.
Pardon me?
It has to be contingent upon the library being accepted.
Yes. So is that better stated?
Okay, so it should say contingent upon, not contingent on. Okay.
But
Is that okay?
it can't say contingent upon the library is accepted.
is,
It's
Being
being
accepted.
accepted. Being accepted. It's a noun. All right.
and then
Gerund.
halfway down the page,
It's a gerund.
Thank you.
Ryan will
Thank you.
request,
It's a gerund, everyone. Does anyone know what that is besides me? Janet.
Anybody who's
Yes.
gone to Catholic school would know.
Yeah, there it is. You can't get away from that. It will be there your whole entire life. Okay, what else, David, is it?
halfway down the page, under the subject entitled Library Submission to Annual Town Report, in the third line says Ryan will request a time to present about the library. I would suggest scratching present about and saying something to the extent of update the town report about. Again, this is Mr. Mr. Pedant
Mr. Picky.
speaking here, but just if we want to keep this clean, okay?
All right, or Ryan will request a time to speak about the library at the town meeting.
Yeah.
You
Is that
want you
okay?
want the word speak instead of present? That would work, David?
Say that again, please.
So instead of present, could we say time to speak about the library?
Yep, that's good. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Anyone else? Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Okay. Janet moves, David
David-
seconds. How's
Okay.
that?
Fine.
All right, Landry, aye.
Davis, I.
Ekberg, aye.
Mani, aye.
Regan, I.
Oh, good. And yes, Donnie has left the meeting. Mariana, there it is. Okay. Any public comment? I do not think we have any members of the public attending. And I think we have completed all our business for this evening.
And you're
So
going
do-
to help out.
The only thing you might want to talk about is scheduling the next meeting.
Yes,
Yes.
good point. All right. How about, let's see,
Are we going back to a daytime as opposed to a nighttime?
well, Kim is still with us, will
yet.
be in the evening. Kim
so
has to work in the
one more
daytime.
nighttime?
Yes, I think so,
Okay.
which we are more
At
than
least
happy.
one more, couple
Yep.
more.
Yep, exactly. All right, so how about Monday night, March 25th?
I will be on the road.
That
Okay,
is that I should
Okay.
also note that is after the town meeting.
I'll be out of town.
okay, so do we want to meet before the town meeting?
My recommendation would be to touch base before the town meeting, because I talked
All right.
about asking if the trustees are available again.
All right,
And then we are meeting relatively late in February. We
Yep.
normally meet more towards the middle of the month.
all right, how
so I
about
think
the
we-
11th of March, Monday, March 11 at 6:30?
Do you want to keep doing Monday nights?
I don't know, I just picked this one because it seemed like everybody could make it on a Monday. Is there a better night than Monday for you, Ryan? You're the one with the drive.
We were doing it on Thursdays for a while, which I didn't hate, especially because maybe in May and June we might go back to the Fridays. I think is
Alright.
going to be a discussion. But if you would entertain doing it on a Thursday, I don't mind doing it earlier on a Thursday. Like we could do
Okay.
it at 6
Could we
again.
do it on Wednesday? Thursday on the
That's okay. That's okay with me. We're trying to avoid Tuesdays because of the select board conflicts.
Yep.
And then I don't know. I remember there's a book group that's meeting, and I don't want to get in the way of that either because I
When is
support
it?
reading.
Which day is that? The
It
book
might be on
group.
Thursdays that
Okay, so-
some of the trustees are in.
Well,
So
What about-
tentatively, Wednesday, the 13th
Wednesday.
of March.
That
Could
would
we
be
do it?
good.
We do it the next week?
Okay,
Mm,
the 20th, Wednesday, the 20th. of
yeah,
March.
I
Daughter's
would
gonna be here
agree.
visiting.
I would
Oh,
agree
no.
the 20th is better because the 13th is the night the friends meet.
Okay, so
Okay.
Wednesday, the
do that.
20th at 6 p.m. How's that?
Okay, I won't be here for that.
Okay, then when is good for you, Janet? Jane. Sorry, I'm mixing you up because you're friends. Sorry.
No,
We're
I
all
did
friends.
the week, well, we went through the week before, but you said those dates were bad. Because I'm leaving on the 14th, so.
The 13th.
Yeah, that's why I said that, but Janet, you You can't do
Well,
the
I mean, I can skip a meeting and schedule it better for Jane. That's,
well,
Yeah,
you
let's
know,
do
one of
that.
us has to meet
Don't-
regardless.
Well, we could meet, I mean, we could meet on the, somebody can't meet on the 13th? Is that correct?
I can't, right.
You
She's
can't.
traveling.
Jane, when are you back?
No, not
next
traveling,
week?
but my daughter will be here and I,
Oh, that's okay.
well, let's see.
So how
Well,
does it
you
shake
wanna
out?
meet
We're
the-
doing the 13th to the 20th.
Well, hold on. Jane is checking her schedule to see when she's back.
No, I don't have to, I'm not back till, the 21st, so, it'd have to be that earlier week, because the meeting's on the 23rd.
Yes, so how
Yeah.
about, why don't we set it tentatively for the 13th?
Well, the
Right.
friends meet that night, though.
oh, that's right.
I have to go to that, Marguerite.
Oh,
I
okay.
Okay,
are there two people gone the 20th? Was that what happened? I know Jane
No.
is gone. Are you?
I can,
the 20th.
Janet, can you do the 20th?
I can do that.
The 20th. We're back to the
I'll get
20th.
things written
hate-
all
I
over my
hate-
calendar.
I know, I've
I
written
hate
in ink, it's a terrible thing. Okay, let's do the 20th, and Jane, next time, you get to honey the date. How's that?
Okay,
Does that work?
yeah, all right.
Or should we go to the 13th?
No, don't go to the
Brian
13th.
can't go to the
Brian can't-
13th.
Oh, that's
Brian
right, you can't go
Yeah,
to
I
the
can't.
13th. The 14th's good.
Y'all can meet without me. I'll just be in the friends. So, or I have to leave the
Not sure
meeting.
that
to go.
works.
Yeah, I don't think that works.
All right, well, listen, we spent more time trying to find a date than we have
Okay,
discussing every other item on the agenda. Let's do the
so
20th.
March 20th at 6, and then for April we have to have a date that Jane can go to.
All right.
I like that
Yeah.
as a caveat.
I'm
Okay.
not
Ryan,
good.
quick question. How many folks do you have suckling through you tomorrow night?
What?
Oh,
What?
it's not. That's David is asking a good question, and it's a good plug for anybody watching. So tomorrow is the first of the. You can drop in and talk to me about the building project
Right.
if you want to,
Oh.
but it is a drop-in program, David. So people do not have to make an appointment.
I see.
There-
Okay.
There was a community member who indicated she would come back and talk to me, but I have not heard from her. But I'm hoping that she will come and talk. And
So
she-
whoever shows up, shows up. Is that how it
Yeah.
works?
Yeah, and the idea
Okay.
will be that we can talk as a small group if I get multiple people, or if there's gonna be one at a time, I can do that. And then my joke is that if no one shows up, I'll just be working on the application.
That's
But
so good.
Well,
the other thing I'll say is that I am also trying to go to people. So I've spoken with Bill Harrington about going to the Dull Men's Club
Right.
at
Yep.
the senior center.
Yep.
So that'll probably happen in the next couple of weeks. And then I was gonna go see the exciting women's club, but I guess they don't meet anymore, unfortunately.
Oh,
So
no.
oh,
The Dull
Um,
Men's Club is a really great group of people, and they're very thoughtful, and they think a lot, and they have a lot of fantastic experience between them. They are really,
for
really
anybody who can't go to the one tomorrow night, there is another Tuesday in April they can come to, or March. Sorry, March. We
Alright.
do it in February and March. So
What time are you there?
so we put 8 o'clock, but really I'm gonna be there the whole evening. So if people can come, like, want to get in touch with me and set something up earlier, I'm able to do that. We just know that it's quieter at 8. Usually the staff are all working on things, so they don't need me as much.
I will be with you at 8 o'clock, Ryan.
Okay.
uh-oh, here comes trouble. Here comes trouble.
I look forward to talking to you about the building project, Mr.
So can we check about the candidates night date for the senior center? Do you
Yeah,
wanna do that?
I'm probably gonna book the 24th and the 25th, and then
Okay.
I have talked initially with both select board candidates, and I believe they're both planning on being available at this point
Okay, all
on
right.
those dates.
Who are the candidates?
Who the two people who pulled papers are Mr. Dennington, who's the incumbent, and then Mr. Joseph Palmer, who's
yeah.
currently on the he's on the Capital Improvement Committee,
Right.
and his daughter's coming to the library, so I know him.
Okay. I don't know him.
He was, it for those who may have forgotten, he was the gentleman who talked about his daughters sitting on the carpet when we had that joint meeting
I
about the
remember.
carpet
Oh,
replacement.
right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And who
Yeah.
could forget?
So
It
I-
was
Yeah.
you,
I
right.
always say, I think you don't know Joe Palmer, but you remember him that meeting. because he-
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, he was totally grossed out, and
He
I
was
don't blame
grossed
him.
out, yeah.
It was so funny. Well, we also now officially have an erratic elevator. If that doesn't,
No, we don't. No,
well, I mean, how old is that elevator? That
bite your
elevator
tongue.
needs to be replaced
And
with a
then I
new
don't
elevator.
know. I haven't checked with Mr. Hegarty about the people who have pulled papers for planning board, but he did indicate that there might be a race. So it might be planning board and select board, but at the moment, I think only the incumbents for other positions have pulled papers, except for the library, where we had a new candidate pull papers, but not the incumbent. for
Kim,
one.
we are going to have such terrible separation anxiety when you leave.
No,
Yes,
it's not good.
yes.
Fine.
This is a
Okay.
humongo loss, and we will miss you, Kim.
Bongo.
Well, I'm not moving away, so you will still see me around.
Okay, good. All right. And we're glad you love your job. That's really good. Okay, so it is now officially 7:08. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So adjourned.
Okay,
Second.
Landry, aye? Or Landry
Davis,
second and
aye.
aye. All right.
Wait a second.
Ekberg, aye.
Aye.
Many eyes.
Regan, I.
I think that's it. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Janet, can I give you a quick call after?
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Okay,
Good night,
bye.
guys.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.